The Yemeni armed forces are conducting non-stop attacks against the genocide state, with a consecutive move coming from them to show the Israeli side that this is not stopping, and Israel isn't able to stop these attacks coming from Yemen. Today, there were multiple attacks coming from the Yemeni armed forces. One of them was on the central part of occupied Palestine. The other one was near the Jerusalem area, two strategic locations targeted with the Palestine 2 hypersonic missile of Yemen. Yemen said that they targeted them successfully, and Israel also confirmed that there was attack being conducted against them from Yemen, again with no response coming from Israel. If we calculate the overall number of attacks between Israel and Yemen, Yemen was attacking Israel approximately 98, if not 99% of the time. Very few were the attacks that Israel carried out against Yemen. Yes, they did target important locations, but these locations don't make a difference to the attacks that are ongoing by Yemen, which is the only country that is implementing international law to a T against the genocide state. No other country is implementing, even respecting international law. If all of the countries surrounding Israel were implementing or even respecting international law, they would have at least all had a total blockade and embargo in Israel from day one. But Yemen is the only country, despite its limited resources and its geographical distance, implementing this. And these constant attacks coming from Yemen prove time after time that there is no stopping them. Today there was a statement from the spokesperson of the army, Yahya Sari', of the armed forces, saying that we're going to continue these attacks. No one is going to stop them. And we saw, ever since Israel carried out this attack against the prime minister and several ministers where they assassinated them, Yemen has been attacking every single day. In recent weeks, some days passed without a Yemeni attack, but now it's happening every single day, and this is only escalating. Which leads us to Gaza. The Palestinian resistance began an operation called the Moses Road, or the Road of Moses, or the Staff of Moses. You can call it however you want. The Road of Moses. Previously in Gideon's Chariots 1, now because Israel's calling Gideon's Chariot B, the Palestinian resistance said it's David's stones. In a way, telling Israel, you're not the one speaking in the name of David, and you're not the one speaking in the name of Moses. You're not the followers of Moses. You're not the followers of the prophets. You're not the followers of any prophet. Israel, of course, tries to coat its barbarism with a religious Jewish look. The Palestinian resistance is telling them, no, actually, these are our prophets. We respect them. And as we hit you with David's stones, we're going to smack your genocidal heads with the Rod of Moses. And we had some videos coming out from the Gaza Strip from the Palestinian resistance of the first operation with the Rod of Moses that they called, targeting the genocide forces inside of Gaza. And before I get into the video, a source from Al-Qassam Brigades, it was reported that he told Al Jazeera that what Israel is expected to see in Gaza is far more than what they saw in Jabalia and all these other areas, and Khan Yunis even. Israel faced some of its most severe attacks in those areas in what they called Gideon's Chariots, up until the final moment of this campaign. And just moments before the declaration of this new campaign that we really don't know when it's going to start, or even if Israel is able to carry it out, by the way. Because many reports are coming in and out of Israel, like criticism from top levels. For example, one of them was the Air Force commander saying that every minute is risking the lives of the prisoners of war, and then they removed it from the media in Israel. they are trying to censor the criticism that's coming from within, although everyone who is observing internally knows that the split is now already in the army. It's embedded in the army, not just between the political level and the army of the genocide state. But the Palestinian resistance is saying what is expected in Gaza is going to be much more than what you saw before. And this attack, although Israel still didn't really go into, Gaza City, it's showing us what the Palestinian resistance is preparing for the genocide army inside of Gaza. As we can see, Asa Musa, they're calling it the Rod of Moses. Again, Palestinian fighters well equipped with the Yasin 105, with the blankets as well. And if you wonder why the Palestinian resistance fighters wear blankets, by the way, it's because they don't want to get monitored. It makes the movement easier for them. They avoid certain detection or any electronic detection or even AI detection, even in the night as well. So you'll see the Palestinian resistance fighters having like a blanket on them, like the martyr Yahya Sinwar when he was martyred fighting the genocide troops in the famous blanket and the video. Here we can see them targeting Merkava with a Yasin 105 from a very short distance. And again, easy maneuvering and movement from the Palestinian fighters. Israel, again, you can see the level of destruction in that area, but that doesn't stop the Palestinian resistance fighters. Then they put another explosive device, again, a fighter running, putting an explosive device on a troop carrier that had several child murderers in it. Look, and that's him going back after he put the device on the troop carrier. That later on explodes. Each troop carrier will have approximately 14 people on average. Imagine what happened to these people when they were in that troop carrier. Again, Palestinian fighters go on tanks again. One of them tried to open the top part of the tank. Clearly, they locked it from within. They learned the lesson from before. They kept it open to ventilate slightly. Now they closed it, but that didn't stop the Palestinian resistance from targeting it. Later on, the fighter moves away and they get attacked with a Yasin 105 and with gunshots as well. So we can clearly see here from the Palestinian resistance that they are able, they're able, and they are preparing a lot for the genocide state. And Israel, despite the fact that it's not really saying whether this campaign started or not, they are already facing problems with this new campaign. And by the Palestinian resistance, by the way, with them naming it like the Rod of Moses, it's clearly showing you the religious side of the conflict. Israel wants to Judaize the conflict, right? The Palestinian resistance tells them, no, don't speak in the name of our prophets, right? And they're giving these names to the Palestinian resistance actions against Israel. And this is just the beginning, by the way. A lot is expected to hit Israel really hard if they go into Gaza City. And as a matter of fact, the IDF chief of staff already warned from big consequences. He's telling the circles from within the Israeli army that they will be suffering a lot of losses, that there's going to be a risk for the lives of the prisoners of war. Again, the Israeli Air Force commander confirmed today, and this was later removed, by the way, from mainstream media, or at least some of it. Some mainstream media outlets said that every minute that goes by risks the lives of the prisoners of war. So Israel, that constantly cries hostages, hostages, or sausages, as the British Prime Minister likes to call them, goes on a campaign knowing that its prisoners of war are in that area after killing, by the way, so many of them. Israel targets them deliberately. Hannibal Directive, like they did on the 7th of October, and all of the massacres of the 7th of October, the Israeli massacres on the 7th of October against Israeli civilians. Please do not forget that. Now they're even confirming that they want to go on this campaign, yet Donald Trump, the grand hypocrite, is still talking about releasing them. He's telling the Palestinian resistance, release them today, and then everything will change. Release them what? What reassurances, what guarantees are you giving them? If nothing happened in 2023 and Israel would have gone on a genocide, look at what they're planning for the West Bank. Israel is planning to completely annex the West Bank. They're trying their Emirates plan. They have this Emirates plan from some of their depraved racists come up with ideas to split the Palestinian society into like Emirates. Now they offered one of the tribal leaders in the Hebron area to become the emir of the area. And after the mayor of Hebron criticized the plan, they went and arrested him. They're having huge plans to annex more parts of the West Bank, going against all of this move coming from European countries to recognize a Palestinian state, despite the level of symbolism that it has, really. Mostly symbolic. At the end of the day, the same countries that are confirming that they want to confirm or recognize a Palestinian state are the same countries that are still legitimizing Israel. So Israel would go on and kill and slaughter and murder and execute. And it doesn't need excuses. Therefore, and it's killing its own people. Therefore, what is the American president exactly talking about? Telling the Palestinian resistance to release them, and then you'll see the difference that is going to happen. What kind of difference is going to happen? Who do you think you're fooling? Your own people are ridiculing you. They're starting to look so ridiculous and stupid. Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, anyone who looks at them, it's like, what pathetic liars, propagandists, Zionists, bootlickers, slaves of the Israeli lobby inside of the United States. You have no integrity, no independence, liars, pathological liars. No one is believing you. Who are you saying that to exactly? You already know that you lost over half of your popular support because of how you bow down to your Zionist masters.